The Rivers State APC chairman, lawyer to the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, has ordered Fubara to resign honorably or face impeachment. The APC chairman hinted that Governor Fubara has disrespected the president of the country, hence this call of his resignation. Listen to the APC chairman and watch what he claimed Rivers State Governor Fubara has done that is warranting this order of resignation.
Called out on behalf of my party, the All Progressives Congress, to discuss what people call unfolding drama in Rivers State. For us, it's a drama that has long been concluded, so nothing is unfolding. Whatever anybody else does in relation to the issues is mere grouping in the dark. It is the story of somebody who is drowning in the sea and is looking for succor anywhere. The moment the person sees a straw in the water, he or she goes to cling to it for safety. Now, you're aware that we are major opposition in Rivers State. We are major opposition political party in Rivers State. We are the voice of the voiceless in the state. You have always been with me for nearly 2 years as this matter dragged. And you had always known our position as a political party. We started with attempting to offer to the governor things that will help him even succeed in government. I'm not taught that opposition, especially the one we presented, is for malice. I'm told that when somebody opposes you, he opens you up to what you may not have seen. And what you do, if you are a reasonable person, you go and either cover that hole or clutch onto it to do something better. When we said that Siminalayi Fubara was clueless, we were not playing with English. We were clear, we were certain, because indices were palpable, they were there. And one would have felt that he should sit back and ask himself, what are these indices of cluelessness and how do I remedy them? People say there is drama. I don't know about drama in Rivers State. What I still know is that people are still pushing cluelessness. Otherwise, the recent development in the country, all of you are aware that Supreme Court is the apogee point in judiciary in Nigeria. When the Supreme Court makes a decision, the only option available to anybody that feels undone is to appeal to God. And the moment you appeal to God, you have left the realm of the physical and have moved to the realm of the suprasensible, which is metaphysical. So it is for you whether God answers your prayer or not. But again, it's not only one person that prays to God, and nobody knows how God will answer the prayer. The governor, if you recall, who have begged him as a party over and over again to say, please go and heed to the counsel of Mr. President, who had at a point decided to shave off all his engagements and spend over 4 hours with stakeholders of River State in Aso Rock. And we kept begging him that the president, for whatever it is worth, is the #1 citizen of this country. And largely, that his words are supposed to be given. On one breath, the governor came out to say, okay, he has read the president's 8-point agenda, but there was not a death sentence. 2 days later, he sponsors a group called Elders, who said, you have signed off your death warrant. Have you forgotten that you are governor? Forgotten that you have red pen? Don't you think that you should assert your position as governor of the state? And then the other thing we heard was that Mr. President's assertions on the issues that pertain to River State, which was beckoned upon by Rivers people and Nigerians, that what came out of it was political, not constitutional. And so the governor continued to run his course. I recall we have called him many times. Mr. Governor, listen to Mr. President. Mr. President is #1 citizen of this country. And we, as APC, will not sit, or rather sit aloof and watch you disrespect Mr. President, because he is also the leader of our own political party. All of those fell on deaf ears, and we were here where we are today. They said they were interested in legalists, and I was okay, let's go. Wherever it ends, we will understand. There are 2 issues I need to address, and then take your questions. One issue is, you will recall that we had made weather, heavy weather, against what they planned to be local government election. We made heavy weather. Because for us, the processes were not in compliance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act. We saw it as a brazen attempt to put us away from the contest. And I recall that I told you that I was in a church service when I saw a message, a chat from somebody of INEC, rather, informing me that there was going to be a stakeholders meeting the next day. I said, the man who sits there is an experienced person. He's an experienced jurist. And he knows the law. He knows the law, much as I expect. Could it be possible that inviting a political party as strong and robust and formidable as APC could be done via WhatsApp message? So I responded to his WhatsApp, and I told him that this is not the process. So we continued, and we thought that something would change. The same thing that we protested, they went ahead and decided to hold whatever they call whether stakeholders meeting or not, and decided to shave our hair behind us as APC. Well, because we are law-abiding, we approached the court in Abuja. We approached High Court, Federal High Court 10 in Abuja, and made very, very strong cases concerning the non-compliance of the law as evinced by what the RISEC was about to do. The matter dragged, issues were adjourned. It was not an ex parte. Issues were adjourned. They came to court, even brought other political parties who indicated interest on their own side of it and all that. The matter dragged, and at the fullness of all the exchange of processes and all that, the learned judge gave a judgment on the matter, not a ruling. No, he gave a judgment, full-blown, and said to RISIEC that they were wrong. And of course, what followed would have been that that election would not hold. As if that was not enough, when we came back here, we were told that preparations were on. Recall too that 2 days to the so-called election was staged a serious protest in this state, flaunting the order of court to say you do not have the power to go against the order of court by way of organizing election and all that, because you are shortchanging us. We are willing to contest election. Not only contest election, we are willing to win elections for our party. We told them that our party is no longer the sit-down-look party. The party we have is now a very robust political party that understands the whole essence of political party, okay, of putting together, of putting people out for election, contest the election and win the election. The demonstration, rather the protest also fell into deaf ears, because there was a man who claimed to have immunity discovered by 308. The next other thing we saw is that the eve of the so-called election, we saw him inside the RISIEC office. He became RISIEC chairman, he became RISIEC everything, and ordered that the election was held. Meanwhile, in the order of the judgment of Lifu, the police was barred from participating in that election. The DSS was barred from participating in the election. INEC was stopped from releasing. INEC was stopped from releasing materials that are necessary for any election whatsoever. And we were wondering if all of these, you have an election, general election, those who speak, police will not participate, DSS will not participate. INEC, that is the custodian of the materials vis-a-vis the voters register, is also not going to participate. How do you now go ahead to machinate? And in one day, all of those records. So what we were told was that in the field, they were using piece of paper and all that. We didn't care. We didn't bother. We were law-abiding. We didn't go to the field to fight with anybody, because we knew that it was an issue that was going to no avail. They went ahead and said they conducted the election and swore in some persons at the governor's whims and caprices. It's not a problem. So what they did was rush to Court of Appeal and then relied on the issue of jurisdiction. The Federal High Court had no jurisdiction to entertain the matter that was brought to them. And it was laughable, because even elementarily, it is right that INEC is a federal agency, police, DSS, okay? So how do you now sue them at the High Court of a state? It won't work. Okay, even at that point, the governor was saying that he knows the law and all that. We were laughing. They went to court, the Court of Appeal, maneuvered their way, and the Court of Appeal said that the Federal High Court had no locus to entertain the matter. We said, well, that's not the law. We will test the veracity of the judgment, or otherwise, at the Supreme Court. And that was what we did. If you were in court on the 28th of February 2025, you would have heard, or even if you were not there, you would have read from the CTC that the Supreme Court frowned heavily on and against the decision to go ahead to hold an election when there were cases of non-compliance to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I don't know, and I don't want to begin to call names, but the Supreme Court has summarized it. I don't know who read that the Supreme Court talked about executive rascality. I don't know who read that the Supreme Court said that from what they have found out in Rivers State that there hasn't been any government. There was a judge, one of the justices, who, in his own contribution, he took us down the lane of history of democracy and said the governor or no government can operate with either the executive and the judiciary or anyone, that the three must be present, but that in Rivers State only the judiciary and the executive function as far as they are concerned, and that it was wrong that the governor relied on 12.5% members of the assembly to begin to govern a state as Rivers. I commend you to those to the CTC of the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court said, Governor, go and present your budget. And I'm sure you know that the Supreme Court cleared the issue of who is a member of the assembly and who is the assembly itself. They did. And now redirected the governor to go back and and present the budget to the assembly under Martin's Amaewhule as the Speaker of the House. And it's on that condition that until that judgment, that budget is represented and there's an appropriation law, the central bank, FAC, and every other financial institutions that have one dealing or the other with Rivers State should stop. We're talking about since February 28th. In other words, workers, I don't know if workers have earned their salary for the month. So to show you how wicked the governor had been, you know, he behaves like a saint, he behaves like a Puritan. But he's a very dangerous snake, extremely dangerous. He cared less about how the citizens of this state will fare, having not had the opportunity of earning their salaries because of his own misdeed. He refused. It has been ding-dong affair. We are looking for CTC. CTC has not come, blah, blah, blah. His lawyer was there. The lawyer was there, present. And I was there, almost sitting behind him. He was busy typing. Now the CTC is out. He has read the CTC. Certified true copy, that's what it is. And what is their decision after the CTC has been received? The decision is to invite the assembly to a meeting in Government House, via a letter signed by the SSG, not the governor. the SSG signed a letter to the assembly, not the governor. It is the number one aberration. Number two, you are aware that the assembly sits this morning by 10, and that certain invitations have been extended to certain individuals. Precisely, the assembly had invited the chairman of RISIEC and his colleagues and his members, commissioners, to appear before them today, having failed to appear before them on Friday. And assembly said, well, the chairman is somebody who served this state meritoriously and who cannot go all out, we treat him as first offender. And they gave another 48 hours, which of course expires today at 10 o'clock. I should appear or face bench warrant. You're aware that the assembly is sitting. You're also aware that the time lag between the time assembly had also given you as governor to come and make your presentation of the budget to the assembly had also lapsed. And then you are inviting them. Are you inviting them for a handshake? Is it a meeting of convivialities right now? The answer is no. It is a meeting, it's a business meeting. What is the business now? Is that assembly is doing their own business by inviting certain personnel of government, in quote, who they are grouses to pick with. And you ask them to leave their sitting to come to government house and look at the puny reasons. One, it's so annoying that they will come so that they will sit down together and agree on where assembly will be sitting. Isn't that an absurd? Haven't the assembly been sitting all this while? Two, that they should come so that they discuss how their remunerations and all that. So he has also accepted that for this number of years, you have starved the legislature. He talks about, oh, come so that we discuss budget. Discuss budget. Do they discuss budget in government house? Go and make presentation. And then the other one, sundry issues and all that. Please, except for those who are for dunderheads. But if you're an egghead, you find out that these reasons are very puny. They are just very puny. Okay, assuming you want to do that, don't you think, I think we have offered solutions or counsel to the governor if he wants to be reasonable. I'm sorry. We did. We said these things are done mostly from the subterranean, quietly. In a split second, I see between rolling on channels, television, and in other words, you want to tell the world that you have invited the assembly people to come to you, as if it is within your powers to invite them to come to you. To discuss what? Supreme Court judgment? No. Supreme Court judgment is sacrosanct. It is as it is. Sacrosanct. There's nothing anybody can do. You can't add nor remove. I told you people here also, I don't know whether it's this. I said, when Mechi won Omeya, a few months later, Omeya approached the Supreme Court and said they're seeking interpretation of that judgment. The Supreme Court said, yes, it is within your right, but it is our decision. If you feel undone, please appeal to God. So that's where we are, my people. So on a strong note, as a political party, we are today advising the governor that there are two options available to him: resign or be impeached. I don't know if I'm true. Did you hear me? I said the option before Siminalayi Joseph Fubara as two. If you like, if or is a disjoint, resign honorably or be impeached. That is the position of the APC today. Because he has run the state aground. He has disrespected Mr. President. And we warn him. We say we will not sit here as a party to watch you insult Mr. President. You are aware of the banters. You are aware of the arrows that fired. They fired. All manner of comments were made. Who is president? How will he do that? How will he not do this? And all that. And the experienced father said, okay, since you do not think that my counsel will hold, oh yeah, say he's legalist, now the bus stop will have reached the bus stop. So please, I will call you to say to you that this is our position as a political party. We are asking, I don't know whether we are saying that we are ordering the governor to resign. There is no government in River State. Let him resign. Let him resign. He's honorable to do so or be impeached. Thank you.
The government made a call to the assembly members. What do you think the assembly members should do when it comes to be called by the government?
If I were a member of the assembly, I will not blink. I will not bat an eyelid. My answer or my response or my reaction to the Greek gift that the governor is attempting to extend to them is not within the ambits of the law. Second is the fact that it is already belated. You know, it is stupidity, if you read literature a lot, that made the Nza bed to challenge the Chi to a fight. You challenge your Chi to a fight. We have also told the governor, we gave him, some literature and literary things that you should understand. I recall that we have told him that if you bring an ant-infested faggot to your house, the only thing that you expect him is that lizard will visit with you. He brought ant-infested faggot to his house, and the lizard visited him. And don't forget, I'm trying to obey my publicist here today. Don't forget that or rather the party, at the point when it mattered most, offered some helping hands, some relationship with him. And you recall that publicly, I told him that when the push comes to shove, those who urged you on will all disappear. And you will be alone in your house, imagining what has happened to you. If you ask me today, if you ask the governor today, how many of those who were egging him on to say, look, you are governor, you have green pen, red pen, and what they are looking for is this red pen. I have it. How many of them are with him today? Now, we're asking him to resign. Are those ones going to resign? If he refuses to resign, he will be impeached. Because there are a lot of impeachable offenses. I don't even need to be a member of the assembly to know that there are a lot of impeachable offenses. In fact, the findings of the Supreme Court are well enough to remove. It don't even need to. What will assembly say committee for? To adumbrate on the Supreme Court matter, which they don't have the right, or to tinker with, or twerk with what the Supreme Court has done. They don't have the right. So the only option available to him, if you ask me, the only option available to him is not this is running from pillar to post, is to resign and be honorable about it. Otherwise, he will be impeached. The offenses are there. Supreme Court has agreed and even provided us even the more. So what are we talking here? I was listening to somebody behind. I don't even need to give time. 48 hours is just too long. 48 hours is too long. He's already sitting on a keg of gunpowder. A little spark, it will explode. So let him honorably resign. The other day I saw pictures of some persons who dead and who say they are in the creeks and all that. I don't think that it is necessary. I do not think so, that it is necessary. And for me, I think that if you are not a coward, why do you hood? Only the security agencies are allowed to hood for certain operations or the other. Where you are out there, you are hooding. I mean, we are past that stage long ago. If you bust the lines, it will not affect Rumibo. One of my friends said, we'll still have our bushes where we'll go and kill bushmeat. Ask Koma. But you cannot go to a river and get fish. So who is losing? See, the whole thing is that our leader, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, took his time and ensured that not even a dot was moved or shifted. He followed the Constitution, and Assembly followed the Constitution to the letter. At a point, some of us met him. I said, okay, these people are becoming so shambolic. He called you all manner of names. Nebuchadnezzar, all manner of names to annoy you. He said, no, that the battle we are into is not a 100 meters dash, that it is going to be a relay race. Of course, you know what relay race is. This one runs to the other person too. And the relay is concluded. And so this whole matter is over. I congratulate him, congratulate the assembly members who stood their grounds, 27 of them. Not even the overtures that were made, not the threats that came from left, right, and center, not the palpable hunger. Imagine that you worked for 2 years, nobody has paid you a dime, in a system that you were part of the production, and that was not enough to deter them. They followed from the one to the end, and today they are victors. And so we need to commend them as one of the faces of democracy in River State. I commend them.
Why the decision was opposed to the local government election, and if the governor can't invite the assembly members to Saturday for the state, the assembly members have the right to give him an ultimatum.
So do what?
To give him an ultimatum.
Yes. He said if the governor cannot invite the assembly for a chat, and then is the assembly trying to...
They have the right to also, you said the governor doesn't have the right to right now to call them for a meeting. So do the assembly members have the right to give them?
To summon him, they do have. The word is summon. The governor is summoned to come and present his budget. The governor is summoned to come and submit list of commissioners. Because the ones that flaunt themselves around were not screened by the assembly. Don't forget that the whole issue here is the legitimacy of the assembly. And the law, by what the Supreme Court did, validating the assembly, means, of course, that everything the assembly did, even at the point they were calling them all manner of names, committee of friends and all that, everything they did were in tandem with the law. They were, including the issue of local governments. Who takes over the reins of governance at the local level? I'm sure that the assembly is taking their time. It is going to be one by each. Today is the governor's invitation. Today is Resign, and other things will happen. I'm happy that I just been reading and I saw some of the commissioners running away. You know, when there is fire on the mountain, I'm told that three people have resigned because they do not want to face bench warrant. They don't want to face bench warrant. Maybe before the end of today, 5 would have gone. You know, and maybe including the chairman. So assembly has the right to summon the governor. It is there in the law. The governor can, on the grounds of friendship, conviviality, invite the assembly. But it's not a matter for the press. The way he has done it. Charlie is not here. Charlie would have told you what happened in channels. That is not how somebody who is seeking for peace. You just want to say to Nigerians, you see, I have invited them, they didn't come. You're still looking for an avenue to indict a people. Meanwhile, even if you go ahead with those sentiments and all that, will it vitiate the judgment of the Supreme Court?